Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the inaugural episode of Superintendents Unplugged, In Depth with Davis, the podcast where we'll dive deep into the world of educational leadership. I'm your host, Addison Davis, and I'm thrilled to have you join me as we embark on the inspiring journey together. As a superintendent once myself, I understand the challenges and complexities that come with leading a school district. But what I've come to realize is that there's abundance of amazing work being done by superintendents all across our country. This podcast is a platform to shine a spotlight on their incredible accomplishments and innovative approaches. Each episode will bring you exclusive interviews and superintendents from various districts across our country, both big and small, urban and rural, as they share their personal stories, triumphs, and even their moments of vulnerability. We will explore the strategies they employ to tackle the ever-evolving landscape of education, from fostering equity and inclusivity to embracing technology and preparing students for their future. But this podcast isn't just about showcasing success. It's about fostering a community of educational leaders who can learn from one another, share their experiences, and collectively navigate the complexities of our role. We'll discuss the tough topics as well, the difficult decisions, and the innovative solutions that are transforming education for the better. So while you're an educator, a parent, a student, or simply someone who's passionate about education, this podcast is for you. Superintendents Unplugged is your behind-the-scenes pass to the world of educational leadership, where we uncover the stories that inspire, motivate, and empower every one of us. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and entertained as we embark on this incredible journey together. I can't wait to introduce you to the remarkable superintendents who are changing the educational landscape one district at a time. Welcome to another episode of Superintendents Unplugged, In Depth with Davis. I'm your host, Addison Davis. Here today, we also have a partner of Strategos, Todd Lamb with On the Clock. Thank you for being here, Todd. And also, we have a special guest today with Peter Finch from West Valley School District in Washington State. Thank you so very much for being with us, Peter. Here in a beautiful Glendale, California, with the age of learning, to be able to have discovery opportunities to listen, learn, and grow together with a number of superintendents. So thank you for being here. We appreciate you being a Think partner and being here today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Great to share. Great things are happening in West Valley School District. We're west of Yakima in Central Washington. It's a great place to be and ready to share.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it. When we talk about, student movement, student acceleration, areas of focus on achievement gap, you've done some really good things in your school district to make this a priority. And not just making this a priority by certain grade bands, but a holistic approach in your entire district from pre-K all the way to 12th grade to make certain that we have students that are thriving every single day, to have full option graduates who are prepared to go to the military, the workforce, or post-secondary education. The systems that you put in place, let's talk about it. What have you done? How have you done it? You've had magnificent data. Let's share and talk a little bit about all the successes and systems that you put in place at West Valley.
Well, I think it starts with the growth mindset and continuous improvement approach to our work. And so we're always trying to get better, always trying to take things to the next step. And so I've been there 24 years at West Valley, 20 years as assistant superintendent, and my fourth year now as superintendent.
Congrats.
Always working to get better and have research-based practices. So what's the research say about learning? Well, early learning is so important. It's the highest return on investment.
Absolutely.
You got to put our efforts into early learning, and that's how you can close achievement gaps or opportunity gaps, maybe you might want to call them. And so in West Valley, we've really focused on early learning for quite a few years now, and we're getting great results. We have a P3 leadership team that meets on an ongoing basis. We've got all the community partners from the one-room schoolhouse at the table, and then some of the larger providers in all of Central Washington. They're all at the table. We're looking at the data. We're looking at what we need to do to align best practices, align research-based practices. And so we see that across all these organizations that are part of the partnership. We provide professional development in the evening. These are large events. We've had over 100 people coming from miles around to come to our events. We do it for no cost. I mean, you have the trainers all volunteer from the different organizations. We can put these on for real low cost and then not have to charge a fee. And so we get lots of participants for that. And then we have our official partner meetings. where we have maybe that person with the one-room schoolhouse. A lot of the faith-based organizations have one classroom.
Sure.
So those teachers for preschool, they're kind of out there on their own, but they're part of our official partner meetings, and we have our kindergarten teachers, and then these preschool teachers meet together. They talk shop, and I always have people tell me after that, "Oh, thank you so much for providing this opportunity, because this is our one chance to have professional dialogue." And then out of that work, we're really coordinating. I always give the example of the 10 frame for one-to-one correspondence in math. So we see 10 frames everywhere, and you got 10 frames in the autumn with leaves, and 10 frames in the winter with snowflakes, and 10 frames in February with hearts, and the kids are doing one-to-one correspondence, and we've seen great increase in their kindergarten readiness scores for coming in the door, ready at the grade level standard.
Sure.
And then even if they come in maybe at different levels, we're still seeing increases, and then by spring of that kindergarten year, we have 6 elementary schools in West Valley.
Okay.
So all 6 of the elementary schools have had 90% of their students score at grade level or higher for reading. So 90% across the board. Talking about closing achievement opportunity gaps for kids. We're doing it with our early learning. So that's great. And then I don't know how much you want me to roll on this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess while you're all early learning, and I know we'll get to secondary.
Yeah, because our systemic approach there as well.
Early learning. So not only is the professional development and analytical dives for your teachers under your umbrella, but all the private public potential partnerships that our educators have access to the professional development. I love that.
Yeah, and we try to be really humble.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we want to be humble in that work, because there's so much we can learn from our early learning partners, especially when it comes to family engagement. We've been having some amazing things happen across our whole school district because of the work that came out of early learning. For example, we have a family engagement week that we start off the school year for all kids, pre-K through grade 12. Wow. And that all came from the work of early learning. It actually was looking at how can we improve family engagement and have parents come in the door and feel very welcome at the elementary level, and all of our elementary schools wanted to do a family engagement week. And then our middle school said, "Hey, well, we think that would be good for our parents too." And the high school said, "Hey,
no one wants to be left out."
So we said, "Well, let's give it a try." And that's about 7 years ago. So we've been
still going.
We start off the year with family engagement, and that's not a time for a teacher to hand the syllabus to the family. It's a time for them to learn about their kid, learn about the family, learn about their culture, learn about are there certain food allergies. I mean, it's just to learn all about their kid and what they need to know to have an excellent experience for their child in our school system. And it's so much better. Teachers now tell me, I can't believe we weren't doing this before, because, why wait till November to have
parent conference night. You're only in the first, halfway through a semester.
Yeah.
Love it.
I always get,
throughout the year, do you keep?
Well, we have traditional conferences then in November and in spring, like March.
Sure.
But kicking off the year with that family engagement was a really great way. And then I have teachers, I always get emails, and teachers tell me, I'm so glad we're doing this. I learned this about this kid, and especially like special needs for students and their learning, just everything that's that you want to make sure you can personalize learning and meet the individual needs of the kids, and how you do that without meeting with the family and letting them tell you about their kid and how you can best meet their needs.
Smart.
So it's really important.
Tell us about West Valley. What's the economy there?
Sure. Yeah, we're an agricultural area. It's interesting because we've started this innovation center for secondary student kids. It's grades 7 through 12. As we were looking at
7 through 12.
Yeah.
So is your elementary configuration K through 6?
No, we do go. Yeah, we have elementary as K5, and then the mid levels 6, 7, 8, and
I interrupt you, but I was just trying to figure out the structure.
So you just got to think about it's a very agricultural area, and also Yakima's a hub for healthcare. So as we looked at the career pathways that we wanted to offer at the Innovation Center, we were looking at our economy, and the pathways that we decided on for the Innovation Center were health science, computer science, STEM engineering, which leads to registered apprenticeship for machining and aerospace. And then we started with those 3, and then we added the robotics agri-science. Because you talk about agricultural area, everything's going automation. You go into the warehouses, there's
forklifts are running with, I'm just telling you right now, they're running by code.
Exactly, the forklift, every forklift driver has an iPad.
The drivers are really running at the code.
So the agriculture, it's a lot of apples. Yakima's known for apples as well as many other. But so apples,
an apple a day.
Yeah, they want to pack those apples within a day when they were picked, so that they have the same shelf life. And so the bins come into the warehouse and they have a barcode on them. And then and we've taken our teachers and our kids to see what this is all about because it's so technology heavy. So they barcode the bin, they have the apples go in, they go on a conveyor belt. Every apple is known by the bank of computers of where it is on the conveyor belt. Every apple has 40 infrared photos and 40 color photos taken of the apple with under a second as it's going through. All that data goes to a big, huge bank of computers, and someone programs those computers on how to do the grading of the apples. And then it pops them down and puts them into the right boxes. And then they said, oh, those yellowish looking ones, those stay in Yakima. Then sweet red ones, those go to downtown Manhattan and get a high price. So it's all automated. So here's the deal. We got the apples now are being planted in trellis because there's higher return on the acreage that you can get by putting them on a trellis, like a grape trellis. But also they're going to be very accessible for the robots to pick them. Yeah. The robots are not currently picking them, but the technicians for those robots are in our innovation center.
Wow.
Our kids
building,
are the workforce
teaching
for the future.
Wow.
We were talking earlier about the change in education from just 40 years ago. 40 years ago when you were talking about this, the business of agribusiness and apples,
right.
It's a very different conversation to students who want to follow in the family footsteps than it was 40 years ago. It's so much more scientific. It's so much more logistic based. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is high tech, and that's why we did that pathway of robotics agri-science, so that robotics really hooked the kids. So if you're a sixth grader going to maybe sign up for the Innovation Center, if you know you're doing robotics all day long, I mean, that's a good draw. It's not all day long.
Yeah.
We bring in some health sciences and such as well. But, it's the Innovation Center, we'll talk about that a little bit. It is
7 through 12.
It's a multi-age, so there's a cohort model. Okay. So it's a 7 through 9 cohort, and that leads to a 10 through 12 cohort.
Okay, they stay together.
Yep, they stay together. And so the kids are not changing periods all throughout the day. The kids stay together, they stay with their teacher. It's all integrated. It's very project-based. And on that campus, they have their own terminology. So the teachers are not called teachers. They're called designers because the kids are also designers. The kids are innovators. And they're co-designing their learning with the teachers. And the teachers do know the standards. So they help the kid know, like, all right, I'm going to work on this project. And how are we going to bring in some of the other standards? And so like the health science, I was on campus. I was like, oh, what are you working on? He said, I'm learning all about mummies. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Because think about the science behind mummification and then also the world history.
Sure.
And, do a deep dive into that. You're going to learn a lot of science and history. And it's just amazing. So the kid is very project-based oriented. It's integrated. Kids are working at their own pace. So no kid's getting labeled a failure in the campus. There's no F. And then kids are actually some of them are going really quickly through the curriculum because they're really motivated. They're there every day and they're working together. And it's a really awesome place for kids. So it's 7 through 9 and then 10 through 12. As they go into the upper grades.
What programs are offered?
Yeah, so it's health science, computer science, STEM engineering, and robotics, agri-science. Within those different areas, there's different strands. So the computer science, there's kids working on the cybersecurity.
Sure.
There's kids doing programming. There's kids. We had a student last year. She wanted to graduate early because she had finished all those standards. She had an offer at Microsoft, $82 an hour. She turned them down because she had her own business, and she was contracting with the Hollywood studio for animation and a gaming production for animation. So I think she was ready to graduate.
Is there a lottery to get into this? Is there
right now
standard only? You take everybody that applies?
Well, we've been in a good place where we're able to accommodate all the requests.
That's awesome.
So we'll see what happens if there gets to be too much of the
interest level.
Yeah, but we're in a good place right now.
Awesome. So I mean, really cool. And when we talk about how to get away from, listen, traditional education has got us this far, right? And I get it. When we go into classrooms, we start out in graveyard rows, teaching content, teaching what we wanted to teach, whatever it may be. And now we're so far ahead because of technology, understanding new standards, whatever it may be, project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, all that stuff to take content to real-world practices. In your scope, do you believe that in this innovation, it will continue to grow throughout this entire district?
Well, master-based learning is really key. We have master-based learning going on in grades pre-K, kinder, first, and second grade.
Okay.
And that's full implementation.
Okay.
So kids going at their own pace through the standards.
Wow.
And then we're developing.
Are they in cohorts or in the same grade level?
They're in the same grade level.
Gotcha.
They're working their way through the standards. Wow. We do a lot of small group instruction and station rotation in the district. So teachers are still doing instruction, but doing small groups that are able to target their instruction. And then we're seeing that at other grade levels, but still working to get the mastery-based learning scope and sequence in place so the kids can go at their own pace. So we're still working on that. At the high school, it's comprehensive high school, and we're really maximizing dual credit and college in the high school. So it's pretty amazing. We have over 40, it's not that large of a high school, but we have over 40 college and the high school classes where kids can get college credit on our campus without having to leave our campus.
Embedded into your...
Yeah, and in the class of 2023, 90% of our graduates graduated with college credit.
Wow.
And the research is very clear that if a kid graduates from high school with a college credit, they're more likely to go to college, and they're more likely to complete their college degree. So that's some really good things happening there. In fact, in Washington State, there's 3 years of math required. That third year, it's college credit. It's either the pre-calculus or calculus, they can go that direction, or we have a financial algebra 2, which is also a college level class, and then that fulfills their college math. So they can fulfill their college math on our campus and then go on to their major and not have to do math in college. That's if they're more a humanities major.
The most inspirational graduation ceremony I ever went to was a dual credit ceremony from a school in Baltimore City, where most of the parents had never had a child graduate from high school, let alone already having finished 2 years of college. Yeah. And the excitement, the energy, particularly for maybe some of the poor kids in your rural part of the state, it's game changing, it's life changing.
Yeah, exactly. And talk about equity. We've worked really hard with the legislature. I brought students over, they testified to the legislature, talk about how important it is to have these dual credit opportunities. It used to be, it was only for grades 11 and 12 in Washington State. Then we got the law changed with our kids testifying. Student voice is so powerful.
So what grade level now?
Now it's 9 through 12. We had to kind of work our way. We got 10th graders, then we got 9th graders, and then we were having to pay for it as a local district, and then we finally, just last year, the year before, is when the legislature came, all state funded now.
Wow, so that's outside of your funding you have internally?
Yeah. We had
for you, because internally in Florida, or superintendent local districts, that comes out of, that dual enrollment process comes out of our budget. And listen, we're glad to do it because we want to give exposure and allow students to accelerate and have that content, have that interaction at the collegiate or college level. Yeah. And honestly, we've taken that all the way down to the 8th grade as well, to have a certain number of courses. But for them to fund it, it says a lot about their commitment to giving children that pathway if they aspire to transition.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And it was really gratifying to have our students involved in
pushing that
and testifying, and then to see it happen. It's really great. The other cool things that we talked about early learning, but there is also this connection with our high school students. So we offer college and high school classes where they can get college credit for working in early learning classrooms. So they can get the child development, child nutrition, internship time. So they can earn up to 20 college credits for helping. And if they're on that pathway of wanting to become a teacher, it's very appropriate to have high school kids helping in an early learning setting. And it kind of gets them a chance to see if this is something they want to do. And then we kind of launch them with their credits already, so they get them on a good pathway there for being an educator. So that's really good. And we've been doing it long enough. I have a teacher that we just hired last year, and it's kind of fun. We do book studies on Thursdays on Zoom, and so I was in the breakout room with this new teacher. I was like, "Hey, it's so good to see you," because I knew she was Faith Sullivan. Give her a shout out.
Faith, you watch her listening. Shout out from the soup.
I knew her when she was in high school, and I knew that she was working with our early learning, our P3 initiative, and here she is now being a teacher in West Valley, so it's pretty cool.
You know what? Thank you for being in Glendale. Thank you for being you're here to be able to share your experiences and to work with, Age of Learning to get stronger and to validate what they're doing every single day for children. But, I just hear the joy and the passion that you have to do this work. And you know what? every day we want to go to work to a place that we care about, it is evident that you are in and out West Valley, without a doubt. So, thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. Today you've heard it, from innovation to giving children and students a voice, to pushing legislative to do the right things, also to being able to get early childhood right, opening many doors, expanding professional development to the entire community outside of the individuals and other employees that are in his umbrella. You heard it from Peter Finch today from West Valley School District in Washington State. Until next time, I'm Addison Davis on Superintendents Unplugged, In Depth with Davis. Look forward to seeing you in the classrooms.